Here it is. Drove 3 hours for this bad boy. What's the chances that there's gas in here?
Probably none.
$90-mile range. 160 miles to go. Let's see if we can make it, driving as economically as possible.
So you're probably still in Maryland.
Delaware state line, 3 miles.
Oh, dang, you're way behind me.
Dude, I'm very surprised I still have a 90-mile range and I've gone 35 miles.
Yeah, I think I've been in Delaware for like at least 20 minutes.
So that was Ryan. His arrival time is 3:01. Mine's 3:03. He said he's been in Delaware for 20 minutes and I'm just crossing into Delaware now. We have 121 miles to go. I'm averaging 44.3 miles per gallon. And I'm surprised how well the Mazda 3 is doing considering it has an all-wheel drive system. And I'm surprised I'm getting way over the EPA estimated fuel economy because they do it at 55 miles per hour and right now I'm going 65. And yes, I'm not average. I don't know what I'm averaging yet, but we'll find out. Always impresses me as long as I'm getting shot back into my seat. But this car is impressing me in a whole different way. Now listen, yes, I sell Mazdas, but that's besides the point. I love cars in general. I've driven an Audi A3, and now you probably know what I'm going to say. I've driven an Audi A3 for many, many miles, and it's a really nice car. But this car, the build quality, the efficiency of the engine, the luxuriousness of this car, it's so much better than the Audi A3. It truly, truly is. And I'm getting 45.9 miles per gallon over 46 miles per gallon over 55 miles. And I have 103 miles to go. This car is supremely comfortable. It's quiet. Now, should it get a turbo? Yes, I think it should. Does it need a turbo? No. I'm a big power guy. I drive a Volkswagen Golf R. I have about 350 horsepower that I get out of it, and it'll never get this kind of gas mileage. But the power this car has is adequate. It's really all you need. Hopefully they bring the Mazda Speed 3 back in one form or another, but I gotta say, this car is fantastic. You can't compare this car to a Nissan Sentra, please. Those wouldn't even belong in the same sentence. Honda Civic, Toyota Corolla. No, you gotta compare this car to an Acura ILX, an Audi A3. That's what you have to compare it to. Mazda has something called the Zoom 2030 plan. By 2030, Mazda will be competing with the likes of Mercedes, BMW, Audi, and Lexus. Welcome to New Jersey. And this car alone speaks volumes as to what they're trying to do. I have 102 miles left to go to get the Schwartz Mazda, and it's going to take me an hour and 29 minutes to get there. My range when we left Heritage Mazda in Fallston, Maryland was 90 miles. I had to drive 160 miles. I've driven 59 miles, and I'm averaging 45.9 miles per gallon. At roughly an average of 60 miles an hour. Now the interesting part about that, the EPA estimates of highway fuel economy is based on 55 miles an hour for however many miles. I'm going over that, and I'm almost doing 11 miles per gallon better. I never thought I'd say I love a Mazda 3, and I really, really do. Mazda, you did a fantastic job. You really did. So update, 84 miles to go. Range went down from 90 to 80 miles. These long inclines on the New Jersey Turnpike are really hurting the range now. We have downhills are going like this, and then uphills that are just not steep, but they are constant. We're hitting high gradients where it's just enough to hurt the gas mileage, where I'm going well under 40 miles a gallon. Still averaging 45.5 total, but if we're going to keep hitting these slight grades, the range will definitely keep suffering. Now, New Jersey is filled with people that just need to get to wherever they're going, no matter what, as fast as humanly possible. But I am going the speed limit. Would I be driving like this on a typical day? No. But I really want to test this out. I feel like I'm doing an episode of Top Gear, the one where they went from Edinburgh to Blackpool on one tank of fuel. Jeremy Clarkson took a Jaguar XJ, I want to say, with the twin turbo V6 diesel. James May took a Subaru Legacy Estate, which is a wagon. And Richard Hammond took a Volkswagen Polo Blue Motion with a 3-cylinder. They all made the trip, and they ran on 0 range for a long time. I don't have to reach the dealership by a certain time. However, it does make sense where you need to be going fast enough to reach your destination in time, but slow enough and smart enough to get there at all. Right now, I got to pick up some speed, and that gas mileage just. So there's a grade here that shows going from 0 to 80. And I've been over the 40 mark for a long time. I'm going below the 40 mark just to pick up some speed. So far I'm going faster than I've gone so far. I'm reaching 70 miles an hour. So right now it's the first time that my range is higher than the distance I have to travel. My range is 80 miles. The distance I have to travel is still 78 miles. It's an interesting test. It really is. This is where being very careful with how you drive makes a difference. I don't know how they did this for 750 miles on Top Gear. I'm going 160. What I'm going to do now is, even if it's slight downhill, I'm going to take as much advantage of it as possible so it can help build up momentum to shoot up the uphill grades a little bit better. Because right now my gas mileage is starting to suffer. I'm very curious to how this trip ends. As an update, we have 60-mile range and 57 miles to go. So we're doing pretty well here. The car is now telling me time for a break. I love this car. Part of me really wants to ask how much a lease on this car would be. Honestly, it'd be very irresponsible to buy another car. But I've fallen in love with the Mazda 3. People associate the Mazda 3 nameplate with comparing it to a Honda Civic, a Toyota Corolla, a Volkswagen Jetta. It's just not like that anymore. The Mazda 3 is not in that class anymore. And it's not because I wear this shirt that I'm saying that. I love cars. And if the Honda Civic or Toyota Corolla or anything like that were better than this car, I would tell you. I would be honest. I'd be completely open about it. It's just, this car is better. It's nicer. It's the build quality is incredible. I mean, there's no hard touch plastic here. Nothing. And the interior is just beautiful. If I didn't have my 2016 Golf R, which I adore, this would be my car. I'd most likely get the hatch because I need to fit my dog and my baby in the car, but this car is unbelievable. The 2019 Mazda 3 no longer comes with trim levels. Mazda didn't want to associate the car with having trim levels anymore. They wanted to just call it Mazda 3. Now, the way they divvy up everything is giving these packages a name. There's Mazda 3 with Select Package, Preferred Package, and Premium Package. And then there's just the base Mazda 3. Now that base Mazda 3 is very hard to find, and it actually has cloth seats, which I'm not a fan of. Because if you're pushing the premium, you shouldn't have cloth seats. Even maybe have the half and half seats that the Mazda CX-5 has, which is the leatherette around the sides and the luxury suede down the middle. This is the preferred package. And this is most likely what I would get if I was to get a Mazda 3. It has your heated seats, dual zone climate control standard in this car anyway, push button start standard. It comes standard with all your safety features. It has a fantastic Bose audio system. Now, I'm not a sound guy, I'll tell you that right now. So my wife can definitely tell the difference between a Bose audio system and a non-Bose audio system in a Mazda CX-5. This car, the speakers were laid out a little differently, and they're incredible. Let's say you set the volume to 40, whatever that means. It's a little over halfway to the maximum volume. If you set it to 40, and your passenger, your friend, or whatever stands outside the car, they will not be able to hear anything. The mid-range speakers are pushed forward towards the firewall instead of being in the door, which helps reduce road noise, and it keeps your conversations private, especially when you're on Bluetooth. Does this car need 350 horsepower for people like me? Yes. Does it need it for an everyday commuter? Absolutely not. This 2.5 liter 4-cylinder makes plenty of power. And that needle's really close to E. 28 miles to go. Dual zone climate control, heated seats, a beautiful digital display, beautiful infotainment system, a beautiful interior, rain sensing windshield wipers. I have automatic headlights, an awesome Bose audio system. All safety features are standard. Front automatic braking from up to 90 miles per hour, blind spot detection, lane departure warning, lane keep assist, a vibrating steering wheel if you come out of your lane, push button start, which once you have it, you don't want to go without it. Backup cameras obviously standard, Bluetooth, radar cruise control. Well, I don't need the GPS anymore. We have 25 miles left to go and a 24-mile range, 44.3 average miles per gallon over the past 133 miles. Now, for those of you that are shopping the Mazda 3 against the Corolla, Civic, and Sentra, before you make your decision on what car you want to buy, go take a drive in your car, whatever it is. How many Sentras you see? How many Civics you see? Corollas. You're gonna see a lot more of them. Not because of the better car, but because being a better car costs more money. And the Mazda 3, with its quality and now available all-wheel drive system and just overall attention to detail and styling, all of that costs money. And Mazda's not after a lease payment. They're after an experience. They're after a driving experience. The Mazda 3 is the better car. And you will pay for it. Next time you get out there on the road, count how many Sentras, Civics, and Corollas you see. And then count how many Mazdas. Keep your Honda Civic SI, Sentra Nismo when it's not any faster than the standard Sentra. Keep your Nissan Altima 2.0 turbo with only front wheel drive where the wheels spin because all the weight shifts back when you accelerate. Except the Nissan Altima looks fantastic, I'll tell you that. I love the styling of that car. The interior is gorgeous. They did a fantastic job on that car. But the Mazda 3 is in a class of its own when you're trying to compare to those cars. If you want to compare the Mazda 3 to anything, it has to be the Acura ILX, which the Mazda 3 beats, and the Audi A3. The only way you'll get swayed that way is due to the power difference, because that car can move. It has a 2-liter turbo with 220 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. If I'm not exact on those numbers, I'm pretty close. Now, the Audi A3, don't forget, is offered in front-wheel drive as well. So if you do go test drive both cars, make sure you test drive them both in all-wheel drive or both in front-wheel drive. 19-mile range and 20 miles to go. That needle is really low. Now we have 19 miles to go and a 19-mile range. And there's the average. All right, so here we are, coming up on exit 109. 1 mile away. It says here that we have a 1 mile range. This car is telling me is that we'll conk out right when we get to the exit. Gas station's right here. What a relief. We made it, guys. We made it. So when we left Heritage Mazda in Fallston, Maryland, we left with 90 miles of range in this car. But the trip was 160 miles. This 2019 Mazda 3 with all-wheel drive made it, with probably still 20 or 30 miles left in the tank. I know I sell these cars, but given I've got to play around with it and really experience what it is to drive it, not as my own car, but as a car to get from point A to point B, instead of showing the car and having someone test drive a car, I've come to appreciate this car a lot more. My fuel run and the fuel economy I was getting, the range in this car is 470 miles on the tank. Now what I have to do is find the battery for my mic, because I dropped my mic and the battery fell in between the seat. Ryan! I made it. 470 mile range I came back with. Got better gas mileage than this guy's ever gonna get. Mazda3 with preferred package, all-wheel drive. The car that I went to go pick up in Maryland is in the possession of the new owner, so I'm going home.